Welcome back to the Armed Catholic at the Movies, where we take a look at a movie or a TV show and see if it is a hit or a cultural misfire. Welcome back to the projection booth. I am Rick Barrett, and this episode we're going to be talking about the movie Ghosted, starring Chris Evans and Ana de Armas, and directed by Dexter Fletcher. It is exclusively streaming on Apple TV Plus. And the summary of this film is Cole falls head over heels for enigmatic Sadie, but then makes the shocking discovery that she's a secret agent, which if you watch the previews, we already all know this. Before they can decide on a second date, Cole and Sadie are swept away on an international adventure to save the world. That sounds exciting, except it's not. You see, Ghosted continues the unoriginal trend in Hollywood of subverting narratives and genres. In the past, a woman would fall head over heels for a man, only to find out he's a secret agent when she falls into his world, and then hilarity ensues because you have the fish out of water dynamic. And it makes sense. Men, masculine, burly, able to fight off other men and save the world and sacrifice themselves for love and country and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Ghosted tries to do this. Not only you have Chris Evans, who is still apparently trying to apologize for portraying Captain America as an actual role model for young men to follow, as a soy-filled, sensitive man who's just trying to find the right woman, and he falls head over heels for Ana de Armas' character. Because of course. Now, hilarity is supposed to ensue, but most of the time I was waiting for something to actually happen. Throughout the course of the film, jokes are set up that don't really pay off. Things happen that are supposed to be kind of funny. I actually kind of got bored in many of the action scenes because after watching stuff like John Wick or any of these other action films that are taking it seriously, like Mr. Nobody or any of these others, the stuff they're trying to pull off here, it's just snoringly bad. And I'll say it again, snoringly bad. One scene was kind of funny in the film where multiple bounty hunters try to capture the two, but outside of that, the rest of the film doesn't have any kind of original ideas. The third act is unimpressive CGI, the twists and turns that one could see coming from space, and a setup for future sequels to this terrible movie that will also go straight to streaming. The highs and the lows. The highs, nothing worth mentioning. Maybe you could say the chemistry between Evans and de Armas is fine. It's good enough that you can be like, okay, I could see how this would work, how these two, blah, blah, blah. But outside of that, the action sequences are just, well, let's get to the lows. Lows. Dialogue is okay at best. The CGI is noticeable. The fight scenes, you can tell the stuntmen are working twice as hard as de Armas is. Now, don't get me wrong. She's trying her best. And I guess this was Lionsgate, who do the John Wick film, saying you got to go do another action film before they do the ballerina film that she's in. So I guess this is nothing more than just a paid training lesson for her to try and get better for those films where the action will actually be taken seriously. And there's nothing new or inventive in this film besides the radical concept of the actual gender swap. So what about a Catholic perspective? Is this movie worth seeing? Absolutely not. The Lord's name is taken in vain multiple times. In fact, the movie ends with a song from the notable singer Pink, who uses the phrase against our Lord's name as part of the chorus. So I was like, okay, the title screen coming up, and then I had to X out as many times because I had heard it multiple times before they actually got to the title card at the end of the film. So you want to avoid that. There's a scene of fornication early on between the two because, hey, that's what we do in modern dating. We actually don't try to court or try to find out each other. Let's just skip to the marital act. Yep, that's there too. Also, the continued war on masculinity and femininity is on full display. Nothing really positive in this film from that perspective. So what do I give Ghosted as far as a rating? I give Ghosted 1 out of 5 bullets. Ghosted wants to be harmless fun, but it ends up being horribly wasteful. And that's it for this episode. You like the content? Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm Rick Barrett. This is The Armed Catholic at the Movies. I'll see you at the movies.